How to make discipline so fun, it's hard to be inconsistent. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, probably around 2021, 2022, there I was with my best friend, full of dreams and hope for the future. We both had the same goals in life. We wanted to get in great shape, improve our relationships and get laid, and most importantly, make a fuck ton of money and get rich as quickly as we possibly could. We were both from a similar background. I came from a low middle class family. My father was working as a nurse and my mother as a nursing assistant. So we were definitely closer to poor than closer to rich. Now, my best friend's family was even poorer than mine. At that time, we were really in love with the idea of self-improvement because we were clever enough to realize that the life of our dreams wasn't just going to be handed to us on a silver platter one day. We knew we had to become better versions of ourselves and go make our dreams happen ourselves, because no one else was ever going to do it for us, obviously. And even though we really loved the idea of living this dopamine-free, holistic lifestyle, getting up before the sun every day to enjoy the peace and the quiet, going for a run in the woods, getting some sunlight exposure, lifting heavy weights, and doing deep work on our businesses, reading books, eating healthy, all that stuff. At the same time, we were just two broke, confused kids. We knew we had huge goals, but we knew no one around us who'd achieved the things we wanted to achieve. My best friend was luckier in the sense that he lived in a bigger town than me, and he often got to see exotic cars around. In my shitty town, which I always refer to as shithole or hell, and I still do by the way, even to this day, the best car you'd ever come across would be an old rusty Audi or Mercedes. You know, the crappy old looking ones. So we'd spend a lot of time calling each other, talking about our goals, watching self-improvement YouTube videos instead of actually taking action. And even when we tried to stick to new routines and get rid of the bad habits like junk food, binge watching series and porn, we'd always end up failing and relapsing after just a couple of days. Until one day, I had an idea. What if I built an Excel sheet for us to track our daily progress and hold each other accountable? My best friend agreed, and so I got to work immediately. I put a big black column in the middle of the screen, so it would be divided in two sides. On the left side of the screen, my friend was going to track his progress, and on the right side of the screen, I was going to track mine. I don't remember exactly everything we tracked, but it was things like what time we woke up, what time we went to bed, how many hours we spent sleeping to make sure we were actually getting enough rest, enough sleep. And then we'd also track our positive habits like eating healthy, taking cold showers, working out, how many hours we'd worked that day on the business, etc. But we'd also track the fact that we didn't indulge in bad habits like watching shows or porn. So at the end of each day, we'd complete the sheet and report our progress. For instance, in the healthy eating column, I'd color the cell in green if I ate a 100% healthy diet. I'd color it in orange if I ate healthy most of the day, but I had, let's say, a few unhealthy things like maybe an ice cream or an unhealthy snack or a piece of cake, something like that. And I would put it in red if I ate very unhealthy that day, like let's say I went to McDonald's or something. I think we did that for about a month, and since my best friend and I had different approaches and different beliefs, we decided to turn this accountability thing into a full-blown productivity experiment. My best friend was going to take a more relaxed approach by only working 2 to 4 hours a day on his business, and then the rest of the time, he was going to focus on improving himself and doing more positive habits like reading, for example, meditating, going for walks in the neighborhood, like in the woods, etc. I, on the other hand, was going to take a more hardcore, hustle culture-based approach. I think that the reason I've always been drawn to that is because of the way I grew up, to be honest with you. Everything always sucked. Everything was always a challenge. So it kinda put this belief in my mind that things always had to be hard and suck for a long, long time. Otherwise, it was a lie. Or it was too good to be true and I just couldn't trust it. Can you guess the results of that little experiment? After 1 month, my best friend had significantly outworked me. He worked a lot less on a daily basis, 1 to 4 hours a day, but the numbers didn't lie. When we added up all of his work hours, after a month, he had done a lot more than me. Now you may be wondering, wait, how's that even possible? Well, that's because no matter how hard I tried to follow my hardcore approach, that is to force myself to get up at 5:30 a.m. every single day, weekends included, even though I had literally never done that before, then I would immediately take an ice cold shower, like it would be very, very cold, read, journal, and then work for 12 hours straight. I mean, I could only stick to that kind of schedule for 3 days in a row. And then I was so burnt out, so drained, like I couldn't work out for a full 2 to 3 weeks straight. The moral of the story here is that if you try to go from one state, in this case being lazy, undisciplined, having tons of bad habits, to literally overnight being this extremely disciplined warrior who wakes up super early and has a cold shower and works all day, I can guarantee you are going to fail. Now, fair enough, that maybe works for half of a percent of people. But for us mortals, it always fails. It failed for me. So don't be surprised when you relapse after just 1 or 3 days too. The problem with that is that it kept me stuck in this state where you feel like you're just a loser who's incapable of change, who's incapable of doing better. So day by day, your self-esteem gets worse and worse, up until the point you don't trust yourself at all. So now, doing anything productive becomes impossible. And on top of that, you're always beating yourself up for it. That's why the first thing I really want you to understand is that you have to start small. Don't tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna go from being this couch potato, all day I just watch Netflix, I jerk off, I eat Doritos in front of the TV and I play my games, etc. after my work or after my studies and on the weekends. And all of a sudden, overnight, I'm gonna be this super disciplined warrior. I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m., go for a 5-mile run, then I'm gonna take a cold shower, I'm only gonna have like meat and vegetables, I'm gonna do the keto diet, whatever, and work 12 hours a day on my business. Do you seriously believe you can go from literally being a couch potato, having zero discipline at all, to overnight being this super disciplined monster? Look, I've tried it again and again and again, and it never worked. And the issue is, it wasted close to like 2 years of my life. I was in so much pain you wouldn't even believe. Because every time I fail, because I was trying to do something which was too difficult for my current level, it made me lose faith in myself more and more. It made me hate myself a little bit more with every single failure. Instead, if I had just looked at myself in the mirror and admitted, okay, right now I'm at level 0, and yeah, sure, my goal is to go to level 1000. Well, I'm not gonna go from level 0 to level 1000 overnight. It's just not gonna happen. If I had the intelligence back then to admit that to myself, I would have been successful like so much faster. Because you think, oh, I need to go from 0 to 1000 overnight, otherwise I'm gonna waste my time, otherwise it's gonna take years until I succeed. What you're not realizing when you think like that is that it's the opposite that's gonna happen. It's gonna take you years to succeed because you try to do things too quick. It's like if you try to say a sentence too fast. You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna say at least one word incorrectly. And let's say the goal is to say that same sentence for 10 times in a row with no mistakes. That's how you unlock the new level or you win the prize or whatever. If you try to say the sentence super fast, you're gonna fail it again and again and again. Instead, if you just say it slowly, like that, for example, you'd get it right 10 times in a row and you'd move on to the next level. But because you want the big goal so quickly and you're not willing to actually do what it takes, let's face it, you try to go there too fast, faster than you can handle. It's like if you're trying to juggle. First do it slowly and then you do it faster. You don't try and do it super fast right from the start, because that guarantees that you fail. That's the truth. And most people are not willing to just look the truth in the eyes. So please start small. It's not about underestimating what you can do. It's about being smart. It's about knowing where you are and where you want to go and knowing there's a journey to get there. And you're gonna get there faster if you just take your time to do it right. Sometimes people come to me and say, well, Fred, I just can't be disciplined no matter what I do. I just really don't know what I can do at this point. And what these people don't get is that it's normal that you're not disciplined if you don't have a strong purpose behind your actions, behind why you want to be disciplined in the first place. And now you might hear me say that and you think, no, look, I know why I want to be disciplined. I know that I want to look better, like I want to be in good shape. I know that I want to make more money so I can just do whatever I want whenever I want. Like I want to take my girlfriend, my parents, whatever, to dinner and pay the bill like it's nothing and literally make more money during the dinner than I spent on the dinner. Like that's true freedom, right? So you know what you want. Yes, okay, fair enough. But when you wake up, what's the first thing you think about? Do you emotionally feel connected to your reason why? If not, then of course you're not disciplined. You could be a Ferrari, but if the tank's empty, you're not gonna move an inch. And the Toyota's gonna go way faster than the damn Ferrari as long as it's got fuel. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make here? I've always known what I wanted. Ever since I was a kid, I grew up in a low middle class family, it sucked. Like, let's be honest, my father was a nurse and my mother a nursing assistant, so we weren't rich. Yeah, okay, we weren't poor technically, we had food, we had a roof over our head, but life fucking sucked. Life was just working for the sake of working and paying bills to never enjoy life. Like, what's the point? Don't you think that resembles like ancient slavery? Just with a modern touch to it? History is always repeating itself, we're just changing the costumes we wear. So I've always known what I wanted. To be financially free, to make more money, to travel the world. To have so much money, I never have to worry about losing everything, or I never have to worry about not being able to pay bills, or just live the kind of life that I want. Have the hobbies that I want. I mean, hell, the point of life isn't just to work, 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 work. The point of life is to enjoy it. That's why we're alive. It's not just to make a boss richer and a corporation richer, work for the state and pay a shit ton of taxes. I mean, what's the point of this kind of life? All the people I knew around me, like the adults when I was a kid, they were just always complaining about their shitty jobs, about the fact that they get like 2 weeks of paid vacations a year, and they can go on a shitty vacation on a shitty budget. That's life for most people. And most people around me when I was a kid, they were just desperately waiting for retirement. Like, that's what people wanted. Retirement. There was nothing else to it. And, I mean, I always knew, like, what's the point? You're waiting until you're 60. Okay, the government is gonna give you social security benefits or some kind of bullshit. They're gonna pay you 2K a month or 1.5K a month if you're lucky, if you've worked for 40, 50 years like a good boy. And then what do you do with that money? I mean, you're gonna be 60, 70. All the people around you are gonna be sick. What are you gonna do? Now you can travel the world? No. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're bedridden because you've got some fucking degenerative disease. You don't know that. You can't predict the future. Yet people think the smart way to make money is, investing in the stock market. No, it's really not. The stock market, real estate, all of these things are tools that the rich use to get richer. But it's not good at making the average Joe rich from the start, like from zero. Look, if you don't want to waste years of your life and tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure everything yourself, and not even have a guarantee of ever making it, if you want to learn from me, you want me to show you everything I've done, step by step, to build the online business, selling courses and high-ticket programs that's made me thousands of dollars in profit per day at only 22 years old, click the link in the description below. It's gonna ask you to fill out a form so you can book a free call. You'll be speaking with me if we're a good fit, and you might get the chance to join my premium mentorship program where I'm gonna teach you all of my advanced strategies. We only have a few select spots, so click in the link in the description below, fill out the form, book your call if you qualify. Again, there's very few spots, so do that now, and with that said, I'll see you on the other side.